How's it going, everybody? So lately I've been thinking a whole lot about the pros and cons of the ketogenic style of eating, of ketogenic diets and carnivore diets and things like that. Especially since the majority of my closest friends are into either, fitness or personal training type of bro science stuff, or a lot of my friends are actually into nutritional healing through different means. I have a friend that's a Chinese medicine doctor. I have a friend that is going into graduate school for a nutrition degree. I have friends that are moving into the medical industry. And so I have a lot of friends that are very concerned about health, obviously. And whenever I talk to a lot of them, the majority of them don't seem to really understand why people actually choose to try a carnivore diet, for example. That's a big one. Big area of misunderstanding. No one has a clue about the carnivore diet. They just watch dumb videos of other people who have no clue. Even Joe Rogan doesn't have a clue. Um, and the ketogenic diet as well. Most people think it's a fad diet, even though it's probably the way we've been eating for the majority of our evolution. And people don't understand the drastic benefits of these ways of eating and the amounts of people who are healing diseases that were incurable, and other ways of eating failed them on those diets as well. And then when they switch to a keto or a carnivore diet, all of a sudden their health problems go away. So anyway, what are some of the benefits? Well, let's see. So benefits of going keto would be unlimited energy and stamina, only once you're fat adapted, of course. That takes about a month. Unlimited energy and stamina. You'll be able to recover from bouts of aerobic activity much faster. You'll be able to last longer during aerobic activity. And even for me personally, I've noticed greater performance in mixed martial arts style of training. And again, this you have to go through the period of fat adaptation, which takes about a month. That's why a lot of people talk about their performance going down. If you haven't been following a ketogenic diet for at least a month, like the first month, everything's going to drop. Your energy is going to drop, your mental clarity is going to drop, your exercise performance is going to drop. That's one of the cons. It's just in the first month, your body has to get used to it. But then after that first month, when you get adapted to the diet, your body starts to run a whole lot more efficiently. A lot of there's actually been studies that have shown the body seems to spare muscle glycogen during ketosis, and there was a group of runners who actually recovered muscle glycogen faster after running 20 miles compared to runners that were on a glucose-based metabolism. Another thing is it's protein sparing, and the body literally breaks down its own body fat stores to produce energy, while at the same time preserving muscle mass. This is why all the people on a keto or carnivore diet look like a bunch of steroid using superhumans. It's not, I mean, maybe some of them are on steroids, but it's mainly just because your body's literally using its own body fat for energy. And at the same time, if you eat enough protein to sustain your muscle mass, obviously you're going to have more muscle and less body fat, which means greater body composition and more efficient performance as well. So mental energy goes through the roof, physical performance goes through the roof, especially in endurance-based activities, and even strength training as well. Digestion becomes so much more efficient. I myself personally, I developed irritable bowel syndrome, and I was developing Crohn's disease when I was vegan for a year, which is back in 2014, 2015. The vegan diet literally destroyed my health, and as soon as I went paleo at first, my digestion started to change, and then the more I based my diet on animal foods, the healthier I became. I had brain fog, I had energy problems, I had all sorts of problems on a vegan diet, and they all reversed once I started to eat mainly animal foods. And mind you, I'm a big fan of herbal medicine as well, so it's not like saying plants are bad for you, it's just for many people they can be problematic. For me personally, it's mainly grains, nuts, and seeds. I don't seem to have too much problems with regular, fruits and vegetables. But anyway, so digestion improves, arthritis goes away, joint pain goes away, and this is more towards the carnivore style. Like when people remove all plant foods from their diet, arthritis goes away completely. Like on a keto diet, people say it improves, but it goes away completely on a carnivore diet. Energy levels, muscle, and strength improve drastically when you switch from keto to carnivore. And essentially become superhuman. Since I can only really record 10-minute videos on my iPhone for now, I can't really go super into detail with this, but those are most of the pros. So what are the cons then? Well, the main con that's actually valid is, well, first of all, it takes about a month for you to adapt to using fat as fuel, depending on your baseline level of metabolism. Like for people who have been consuming a lot of carbohydrates for most of their life, especially processed carbohydrates, but the more of a carbohydrate heavy diet that you are eating before keto and carnivore, the harder it's going to be and the longer it's going to take. Some people take 1 to 4 weeks, some people take up to 8 weeks. And during this adaptation phase, it's going to be hell, and you're not going to be able to eat any carbohydrates besides non-starchy vegetables during the transition phase. But once you get fat adapted, believe it or not, there's been people who have actually tested their blood ketone levels, and they notice that they can eat quite a lot of carbohydrates and they can cheat quite a lot without being kicked out of ketosis. And that's contrary to what a lot of the keto elitists will tell you. So once you're fat adapted, it seems like your body can actually shift between carbohydrate and ketogenic based metabolisms, which is a plus. But many people say ketogenic diet is unsustainable because when you do this and you're switching from a really carb-based diet, I don't have this problem, but most people, they crave carbohydrates, and so they're more likely to cheat. Me personally, I walk through the bakery aisle every fucking day just as a test for myself. I don't even crave those foods. As a matter of fact, after 3 days of back on a carnivore diet, I think that bakery items are kind of disgusting, and it makes me a little irritated actually, because everyone's weak and it's killing them and they can't see it. But anyway, so the cravings, and then if you cheat, you get kicked out of ketosis and you feel like shit, and then you gotta start all over again. So that's the thing. It takes willpower for people to remove their addiction to carbohydrates, to transition their body from two completely different metabolisms, basically. So, and then once you get on a ketogenic diet, though, the thing is, people say, oh, like, you can't sustain it in the long term. Listen, your body adapts. Your gut flora is going to adapt. Instead of craving carbs, you're going to start craving steaks and vegetables. Instead of, feeling low blood sugar all the time, having blood sugar spikes, you're going to feel great all the fucking time. People reverse their diseases on this diet, so obviously they're going to be able to sustain the diet as long as they want to be symptom free. And when you start to experience the benefits of this diet, it's so much easier. It's not for everyone though, and you don't have to do keto or carnivore to be healthy, but if you have a chronic condition that gets better on these diets, then that's a different story. So with that being said, for some people, it's just a willpower problem, but for the vast majority who can stick to it, you can reap massive benefits. Leave your questions and experiences down below, and I'll talk to you next time. Subscribe.